it's almost like dating, right? Like I
It
feel like
is.
it's putting yourself out there. You're trying to find like a pure, genuine connection. Welcome to Mom Meets World, a podcast talking all things motherhood, friendships, and life. We're your hosts, Alaina Brookmeyer
And Peyton Sariva. We have a lot of ground to cover, so let's dive right in.
Hey, y'all.
Hey guys, how's it going? Well, welcome back to Mom Meets World, where we talk all things motherhood, raw, real, and occasionally ridiculous. This week, we're diving into something we all feel but don't always talk about: mom friendships. Whether you're craving a ride or die mom group, wondering whether your old friends went, or whether you just want someone to text you or kind of just be the first one to reach out, this episode is for you guys. We talk about all things mom tribe, how to make mom friends, and how to hang out with someone that's not just, so-and-so's mom. You have to also be yourself. Newsflash, you are you. And you guys deserve to have some connections that honors that. Let's jump into it. What did you think?
Oh, you said it all, girlfriend. Like, ditto. That all really resonates, and I'm so psyched on this episode. So first things first, we do a little weekly catch up, catch each other up on our lives, and so let's go ahead and dive in.
Let's do it. Hi, girlfriend. Okay, so Miss Chloe's officially 3. Tell me all about her birthday. Spare no details. Tell me everything.
Yes. Okay, so as a whirlwind, as you and everyone else knows, like we had lots of family in town, just kind of back-to-back excitement. So in-laws finally came out here, officially like moved in down with Florida. We had my sister and brother-in-law in town. My dad was in town. So just like a lot of just general excitement, and just like my cup was so full just having family in town and just the people that we care about so much and love. So I think that was just extra. I don't know, it just like felt so good to just have that family here for Chloe's celebration. And especially since they came a few days early, right? Like not just on her birthday. So that was especially helpful during transition, because excitement and attention can be a lot for toddlers.
Yes.
So we had her actual birthday party. We did as much prep as we could beforehand. And thankfully, my sister-in-law is very much on top of things, right? Like she's very helpful, very much a planner. So she's like, Alaina, put me to work. Do you want to do this? And then she's trying to help me with the vision and put things in place before the actual day of, when we're scrambling in the morning. So that was super helpful. We made little like PB&J sandwiches, and then had flower shaped cookie cutters. So we made them in the shapes of flowers. So we did that beforehand, and like a bunch of other little stuff. So when the day of came about, we didn't have to scramble too much, but at the park that we were going to have it at, what's it called? Ramada. There was no reservations for that area. So my mother and father-in-law got to kind of stake out the place early, just to kind of like reserve it, but also just genuinely starting to set up early, right? Like, because you never know how long this stuff's going to take. And it's giving me so much appreciation for other parties that we go to, of where like, okay, it's a pretty simple party, right? Like to the outsider's eyes, but it actually takes so much time to set things up. It's crazy. But yeah, I took Chloe in her little wagon, since the park was, yes, walking distance. So less than a 10-minute walk, had the balloon tied to the wagon, and her little chariot, her heart-shaped sunglasses. She was cruising, had her party outfit, which I'm obsessed with. It was like a frilly, like, what's it called? Tulle on the bottom, hot pink, and then stars for the top part of the dress. And she was just like a freaking rock star. And I posted a reel for anyone else who wants to take a little peek at her. But yeah, we cruised in that, got to the park. No one had gotten there yet, but we are just pretty much on time of when it started. So all of our family was there, of course. And then as people started coming, of course, they go right to Chloe and they're like, happy birthday, Chloe. Hi, happy birthday. How old are you? And she's like, ah. So she's just freaking out. Like, she's like, no, go away. Or like, mama, go away. Like, she wants me to hold her and like not be around people for so long. And then, more people came and they wanted to say hi to her. She's like, no. And they're like, we got it. She's a 3-year-old. It's fine. So that was comforting too, of just like people totally understanding. And then what kind of made her warm up the most, like maybe a half hour in, was a friend and her two boys, her two sons, wanted to give her her present, like, and have her actually unwrap it there. And she's like, oh, heck yeah, presents? Yes, I'm in a good mood. Because they were just kind of stacking up, right? But
Yeah,
she
of
didn't
course.
know that she like was actually going to open one. So that was a nice kind of like icebreaker, I guess, for her mood and her
Mm,
attitude.
absolutely.
So, little tip there, if you're having a freaking out toddler at their birthday party or maybe even Christmas, you could always be like, do you want to open just one present early? You know,
Yes.
so that was good. Then the rest of the party was really nice. And I actually was able to talk to people from then on rather than her like being attached and screaming. And yeah, I thought it flowed pretty well. I think the only takeaway from myself from the actual birthday party was we had so party favors, right? Like I know they're
Hmm.
not mandatory or whatever, but it's just kind of a nice to have. And I didn't want just like a goodie bag. Nothing wrong with goodie bags, but I'm just like, let me try to think outside the box. So I got these little like grow kits, and it comes with everything you could possibly need. You just add water, and it comes in a little cute little pot, and then it's like individually wrapped to where it says what the plant seeds are on the outside, blah blah blah. And I thought it would be pretty self-explanatory for the guests to just take one, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
be like, oh yeah, obviously this is for everyone. And, it's a little party favor. But as people were leaving, I didn't think to automatically say, like, make sure you grab a party favor, make sure you grab a little grow kit. Um, so we had some leftover, but that's fine. That's fine. Everything else went super smoothly. So
Aw.
very pleased with the party.
Your attention to detail in the party was amazing. I mean, you were showing me pictures and videos, and I just think that's a testament to like how you are as a person. Like you were really focused on making sure it wasn't just like a normal, oh, here's a box of pizza and here's whatever. Like you did it, you went above and beyond, and Chloe looked
Yeah.
happy in all the photos. And I think what's important is you had fun with Ben, and your family was there, and she was just spoiled by the people that love her. And it's so good that the people around you knew, okay, she's 3, she's not scared of me. It's not the, oh, let me hold her, or oh my gosh, why doesn't she like me type of tone, which we did an
Yes.
episode on that back, ooh, like maybe I don't know, 6 months ago now, about like not forcing kids on their grandparents or cousins if they haven't seen them in a while. And so I'm so pleased that she like responded well to the party after, that icebreaker. What a good tip that is. And I just am so happy that it was good. And then your family stayed a couple extra days. You got some,
Yeah.
unwind time as well, right?
Yes, yes. So that was helpful. Just to even have the extra hands, right? So that was really nice of just like she was okay being around family and like, kind of being passed off to them. So that was nice. And just, yeah, I think it just was the perfect amount of time for the family to be in town too. My dad left whatever, like the day after Chloe's actual birthday, because the birthday party was Saturday, then her actual birthday was Sunday. So that was nice to kind of like get the party and like the energy and like all the planning out of the way. And then Sunday could be a little bit more chill and like
Yeah.
really focused just on her and what was going to make her happy that day. We went to like Rustler's Roost, which so in the area in Phoenix, it's this like kind of country restaurant. They have a slide there and everything, live music. So that was fun for her. And then we did like mini golf. What else did we did? Anyway, so
Nails. You guys got your
oh
nails
yes, we
done,
got it.
right?
Yes, I got her nails done for the first time, which was so, so, so special. And she actually sat still. We did a lot of practice beforehand, but she's generally very good at that stuff. So yeah, anyways, like my dad left, brother and sister-in-law left, and then we had a day in between. Then my cousin visited for a few days. So it was like nice little break and then transition to just one other family member visiting. And then she just left. So now it's kind of like we're kind of resetting and back to normal and back to our new normal now that Nana and Papa are staying out here. So we're just finding the groove with that. And, Chloe's out fishing with Papa and her dad right now. So just kind of, yeah, finding the new swing of things. And it feels really, really good to come out of that good birthday. But yeah, she handled all the attention as well as she possibly could have for a 3-year-old. That's for sure.
Good. I am so happy to hear that.
Yeah. Well, fill me in on your week. How's potty training going? Fill me in on all the details.
Yes. So I want to roll the tapes back and retract something I said because I had said in the last episode that we were going to do this potty training chart and we were going to give Cooper all these cars and trucks and all these things. And let me tell you, all it took was a bag of chocolate chips. Anytime Cooper does a pee, chocolate chip, he's happy as Larry. And we are potty trained in this household. We are so good to
Yes.
go. it's been now maybe 5 or 6 days without an accident. And it is just like the easiest thing for him. Just like he was so ready. And I'm so proud of him. So yeah, like we're kind of backing off the chocolate chips anyways, because he's kind of just like, Mom, pee pee, goes in there, does it, comes back out, gives me a high five, and on we go. Yeah, like look, he's still in diapers at nighttime, and that's going to be a thing for a while, I reckon. So
Oh,
not
yes.
super stressed about that. Like we went on a big like walk this weekend with some friends to the beach, and we did, yeah, it was definitely out of the norm. And he like did a little pee in the toilet in public. We went to the grocery store and he did a wee. Like he's got it down now, and I'm so proud of him. And
Yay.
I think like we're at the point now where I'm not having to like bring 5 pairs of undies anywhere we go anymore. And Chase and Cooper did like this big bike ride yesterday. They did a 5 kilometer bike ride up and back. So like it's a pretty long way. And I saw Chase did bring like an extra pair of underwear, and he didn't do it. He like waited till he got home to do the pee. Like right when we got in the house, daddy potty, and like went right over. So he's totally understanding. And I don't know, I'm feeling really happy about it. So that was really good. But running it back, I don't think you need to have necessarily little toys if you don't want them. All I took Cooper was a little bag of like Baker's chocolate chips, like whatever, Hershey's or whatever, like the teeny tiny little ones. And every time we did a pee, he did it. And it's actually inspiration from my daycare teacher. She was saying that like at her house, when one of the kids are going through potty training, she just has that little bag of chocolate chips ready to go. And when one of the kids does a pee, all of the kids get a chocolate chip. So they kind of encourage the kids to go potty as well.
Oh.
And so like Cooper got chocolate chip because he did the pee, and all the other kids got it. So then they'll be like, "Hey Cooper, do you need to do a pee?" And then if he says nope, all good. But if he does yes, then the kids encourage him and cheer on, and that's a really fun thing. And so it was a good shout out to her. And she told me that right when we started the process, which we do it record in advance. I said that we were going to do it with that big chart, but for us it worked with the little chocolate chips. So I'm feeling really
Ah.
happy about that.
That's amazing. Oh, I'm secretly also so jealous, but I'm so beyond happy that this process has been so quote unquote easy for you, right? Oh, that's amazing. My heart is just like bursting because like as we talked about in the other episode of how stressful it can be for a lot of families, and I'm just like so like relieved for you to not have to go through that.
Thank you. I don't know if it's a boy thing. Like I don't know if it's because he's a boy and it's easier in some ways than a girl, or if it's just like I waited till an age where like we could communicate. He understood. We prepped him up to it. And so like it wasn't as I don't know. I don't know what the secret was. I as in
It's
like I don't
you.
know. I don't know.
Take
I'm
all the
trying.
credit, girlfriend.
I'm
Yes,
really
because like
trying.
you know him and you're understanding him, you're taking tips and tricks, especially from his teacher, and you're like applying it. It sounds like you're just reading him very well, and like communicating well, and you're on the same page with Chase, which is huge. So,
Yeah,
yay.
that's good. It's been good. So that I just wanted to shout out that out. And then I've got a girls' weekend coming up. I'm really excited. My girlfriend and I planned a little girls' trip to the capital city in Australia. It's called Canberra. And we're gonna just go and we're gonna I know it sounds silly, but like we're just gonna do a weekend. We're gonna wake up, we're gonna go to a spin class, and then we're gonna go get our nails done and then just do some like shopping because we live in a pretty small town here. And so like the basic Target and Kmart or all those sort of shops aren't in our area. And in Canberra, it's like the capital city, so there's so many shops. So we're gonna do some shopping for Easter. We're gonna do Cooper's birthday shopping. We're gonna kind of just like have a good afternoon, and then we're gonna go out to like a nice dress up dinner, and then we're gonna go out dancing. And I'm really looking forward to just having like a weekend with some friends and to enjoy that. So that's coming up this weekend.
Yay. I have a feeling that our main topic today will kind of like segue into how important that is to have in our
Yeah,
lives.
yeah, exactly. Because we're talking all about friendships today, but speaking of like the girls' night out dinner, and it kind of leads us into the topic of just like us as individuals. So, what is a
Mhm.
product or an item or something that you use when you have no kids around that you don't have to worry about getting damaged or dirty, or tell me what your mom it is of the week?
Yeah, yeah. Give a little moment shout out for I just recently treated myself to a handbag, and I'm not like my two go-to purses are Lululemon, and so it's like kind of athletic, right? Like if it gets dirty, no worries, just kind of swipe it off kind of material. And obviously sporty, so
Of course.
crossbody. So that's my usual. But then I was just like in Anthropology, and I was just like, oh my God, they have the cutest bags. And I did a little compromise with myself because like some of them are very like I don't know if eccentric's the right word, but like beaded and bright and like fun designs. And I'm like, I would love to sport that, but let me just like tone it back a little bit and find something of that style, at least like design, but have it be something where I can like wear it out with anything and everything. But it's not something that I would wear around Clay. So I actually have it right next to me. So if you are watching, showing it off here a little bit, nothing crazy, right? But just like enough to make me feel good about myself. And it's the kind where the straps are just like you kind of like hook it on your arm as you're doing a little bicep flex. You know what
I
I'm
love
saying?
it.
So,
So cute.
and it's textured, it's cream color. So, anyways, I feel very good and like a little girly. And especially if I'm not with Chloe, right? Like, I just feel like I'm just a woman walking around shopping and doing my
Love it.
thing. So, yeah, yeah.
Super
What
cute.
about you?
I love a good pair of heels, and I've got a really cute pair
Yeah.
of Steve Madden strappy sandal heels that I love to wear. I think just accentuates just like how I feel about myself when I'm wearing them. I think it elevates most outfits, and it's really hard to like follow a little toddler boy around wearing heels. And so when I go out, or there's a dinner, or there's an opportunity to just like rock those heels, or just a real, again, basic Steve Madden brown strappy sandals, but they're like a cute little wedge heel, and I'll link them in the show notes. But just makes me feel beautiful and kind of just like kid free a little bit. And I love them
Especially
so,
since you
so
probably
much.
won't be running around chasing after Cooper in those, you know?
Yeah, absolutely not. I'm not going to be chasing him down in his bike or whatever in those heels. So I'm excited to wear them over the weekend, but also just like, I think it's so important to like enjoy the things that you liked before having a mom, like being a kid or being a mom, I suppose, which kind of like transition us into like the topic of the day if you want to take it away.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we've touched on this topic like generally before, but I feel like it's always good to kind of refresh and like jump back in, especially as we like further our chapter of motherhood. So we're talking all things like friendships throughout motherhood, whether especially like getting new friendships. I feel like that's the key here of like how do you gain new mom friends or maybe even just other friends in general because they don't always have to just be mom friends, right? Like you
Yeah.
still want to find other people, other women who you connect with and who make you feel good about yourself and like who complement your life, right? So I feel like there's so many factors that go into it, especially since you are forever evolving as like let's say you're a new mom, right? Like your life is looking so different now and then maybe that'll kind of reflect in your friends and how you choose your friends. So like have you found any challenges? Like what's been kind of like your take recently on all this?
Yes. So the conversation about friendships with like as a mom is for me like oh, that's how I feel about it. So my in our like past 6 years in general, we've moved and had to be making new friends. Like it seems like every 2 years. So we moved to Australia, knew nobody, had to make friendships. Then we had all these really good friends and moved back to America to have Cooper. And so we entered into this like as we all know, kind of this turmoil time of like moving and new kids and all these different things and trying to find friends in a newborn bubble, trying to rekindle friendships that you had before we moved, plus before we had kids. And then we moved across the world again and had or got to make friends in a small town. So I feel like in a lot of ways, the conversation of making friends to me is daunting but exciting. I feel like I heard a really amazing quote is like you haven't met all the people who are going to love you yet, and that's how I've kind of gone into most of these new chapters of our life. It's like there are going to be people there that are going to love you, that you're going to love back, that you haven't met yet, but trying to put yourself into situations to meet those people. And I think something that we're going to chat through a lot about is just like how easy or easier it is to use our kids as a crutch to go meet people
Yes.
because, when we're out and about and we've got our kid to kind of be our safety net and there's other people around, it's easy just to focus on your kid and not have those chats. And I think as a single person or someone who doesn't have kids, that's also intimidating to be out in public and, see other moms that have kids. So it's kind of this double-edged sword. But I want people that are listening or, are about to have kids to know that it's just as hard to like make friends when you're a mom, just as easy to make friends as a mom. What do you think?
Yeah, that all really resonates with me. I feel like it could there's like two sides of it and there's so many factors that go into it, right? Like I feel like especially you brought up a good point of like moving, right? Like you've been the person to move and so have I actually. But then there's the other side too of like there's other friends of mine who are actually like who just let me know that they're going to be moving. And so it's just kind of like, oh man, and then So it's just, I don't know, I'm feeling abandonment issues. You know what I'm saying? It's just like to feel so bonded and like you connect with people, or also feeling maybe a little reserved of like, okay, is this friendship going to last? Or like, you know what I'm saying? So there's so many like, I don't know. It's just, it's a little intimidating of how to put yourself out there. It's such a vulnerable topic, and like it's almost like dating, right? Like I
It
feel like
is.
it's putting yourself out there. You're trying to find like a pure, genuine connection. And there's the factors like, okay, do our schedules align? Do our vibes align? You know, all those things. And do our parenting styles align, right? And it doesn't have to be exactly
Yeah.
the same, but you still have to make sure that you're both equally judgment free, or maybe you're both open to helping each other in certain circumstances. So yeah, that's kind of like where I've been at with a lot of things. And I think another thing is just that I feel like if I'm feeling pretty darn busy in my daily life and like satisfied in the sense of like my energy levels, okay, like I feel like my cup is full and my schedule is full, then I'm not necessarily putting myself out there to make new friends. And
Yeah.
I'm like, if I connect with someone and someone starts chatting with me, great, amazing. And like maybe it happens organically and we start actually hanging out, perfect. But I'm not putting myself out there in the sense of like trying to make new friends and like conducting interviews, right? Like at the playground, if I'm just like, oh yeah, how old is your kid? Cool. Where do you guys live? You know, those conversations.
Yeah.
So I think now I am like I just mentioned, a couple of friends are going to move in the near future. So I think I am like on the market for a new friend, not a new bestie, don't you worry. But
Don't you
I'm
dare.
definitely I am definitely needing. So if anyone out there's listening and you're in the Phoenix area, I'm taking auditions. So it's just one of those things where it's just ever changing and ever evolving, and that's okay. But I love that quote that you put out there, because then it kind of gives me hope and like gets me a little bit more excited rather than feeling a little
Exactly.
intimidated, you know?
Yeah, I do. And I think this year has been interesting for me in the sense of I've kind of gone through those auditions you're kind of talking about. Like when we first moved here, I really was eager for friends. Like I was like, we don't know anyone, blah, blah, blah. So I found, I think, a lot of really good core mom friends. But then I was like, I do want an identity outside of myself. I think it's important, and it's also kind of essential to make friends who connect with you as a person, but not just as Cooper's mom or Chase's partner, you know? So like for me, starting to work at the brewery was really great because as a bartender, guests would come in, I get to have chats. And I've made a lot of friends who don't have kids that way, like through the brewery, which was really nice because like we'd have chats, we found we had similar interests. And so I do have some friends down here that don't have kids that want to go on a walk or go grab a coffee or, go out for a drink. Like just for example, last night I got off work and I went out for a drink with a girlfriend who has no kids. And it's actually quite nice to like have her ask questions about myself, not just like as a snack giver and a carer to my
Yeah.
husband and a carer to my child. So like ask like, what do you like? What makes you feel happy? And oh, what kind of drinks do you like to have? And da 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 da. And I really enjoy that. But I really think it's important as people to have friendships outside of your child and as your marriage. I mean, your identity deserves space, and so does your friendships outside of family life. Like, I think it's important to remember you're allowed to have friends and kids, or sorry, friends with people that don't have kids, and that's okay. I think it's super important. But again, it's coming down to that. How do you find those friends? Where do you go to make friends like that? Because not everyone wants to be a bartender or can just like show up somewhere and go, hi, my name is Peyton. Let's be friends. Like that's a hard thing to do. It's very yucky and uncomfortable. And I think it is, important to do. So, like, how do you go about finding friends? And, like, how are you going to try to find friends outside of Chloe?
Yeah, yeah, good, really good point. Because then it's like what you don't want to just feel stuck. So I think something that's helped, especially it makes it extra challenging being a stay-at-home mom, right? Because I don't have a specific job to connect with people who are having a similar, like, not necessarily interest, because you don't always have to be interested in your job, but like a similar schedule or routine or like whatever, just a similar topic to kind of touch on. But I think for me, like I do have my hobbies, right? Like I go to the gym and whatever, maybe I'll be shopping around, but it's not consistent enough and it's not a social activity for me to do enough interactions to actually meet friends without making an effort.
Yeah, I got
So
you.
it has been pretty darn challenging. I think what's helped me the most is like back in the day when I did become first pregnant, I joined an app called Peanut, and we've touched on it before, like way back, but Peanut
Yeah.
is essentially like an app, like almost like a dating app, right? You can swipe on other moms in the area. You can put your radius on there. And you kind of say what you're looking for and you can like message each other and then finally meet up. And of course, it's not just for that. There's like group chats and whatnot. So I did meet one friend through there when we were both pregnant together, and we went on like pregnant walks, got coffee, walked through the neighborhood with our little bumps. So that was cute. And then, that bled into organically meeting like other friends in the neighborhood because I went to her son's birthday party. And so that kind of like, I feel like, especially once you make one connection
Yeah.
and you consistently hang out with that person, they'll organically like bleed into other potential connections, which is super
Absolutely.
nice because then that kind of happens a little bit more organically. But putting yourself out there is hard because then it's like you have to think about, okay, in what ways can I or should I make an effort? And I think the fact that like I am a little bit more, I guess, like open to meeting other like friends right now. Like even if I go to the playground, maybe I'll try to be a little bit more chatty with people, right? I think it's just that mentality and that mental state of where you frequent maybe or where you're most excited to go. And then knowing that the people around there might kind of like be your vibe or like be a little bit more, have more potential, I guess. Because at school where I do her drop offs, I am hoping I can make more friends there. I do have one kind of like acquaintance right now, but we haven't like fully moved on from that, but you never know. And then like for gymnastics class, we made a couple of friends and this and that in swim class. So I think those things really help. You just have to like put yourself out there to, like I said, start those convos, engage a little bit more and actually make that first move, right? Of like setting up the first date. And then from play date, it can go to like mom date or whatever it is. But even like my hairstylist, like you have the same relationship, right? Like you
Yeah.
start becoming friends with your hairstylist. And like my hairstylist doesn't have kids, but I still consider her to be like friends. Not that we get together very often by any means, but yeah. So there's just like there's so many opportunities. It's just a matter of like, okay, thinking outside of the box and like realizing what your options are. Cause even Facebook groups, right? Like local Facebook groups, whether it's a mom Facebook group or whatever, just like pursuing things and like seeing what events are taking place. We had Amy from East Valley Moms on here, kind of giving a breakdown. We had Jenna from Let's Stroll. So like
Yeah.
lots of stuff in our immediate area. And I'm sure like anywhere else, anyone else who's listening right now can kind of pursue stuff just like that.
Well, my mind is spinning because I just wanted to share this story that just happened, and I just wanted to jump in so many times when you're talking. But that's just the best thing about this show is that you and I just have such things to relate to. So I actually got set up today on a mom date. So
Oh,
okay, so Cooper's daycare is like there's 3 or 4 kids every day at him, and there's the core three that are consistent that go every all 3 days, and there's always like a one extra on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays. And so there's this mom that goes in, drops off the same time as I do. We're around the same age, and we always kind of like, okay, bye, Cooper, and she goes, okay, bye, Hunter, and we kind of like, okay, bye, bye, kind of thing. But she seems nice and young or whatever. And last week I was like, oh my God, we should just get a coffee. We kind of had a chat. She offered some shoes to Cooper or whatever. But I was like, I don't have my phone. And she's like, oh, my phone's in the car too, because drop offs are quick. It's at a house. And so we both didn't have phones, and our stars haven't aligned. We haven't seen each other since. So I walk into daycare today to drop off Cooper, and her name is Braun, and she goes, oh my God, I've got your phone number. And she shows me, it says Peyton and my phone number. And then the daycare teacher hands me her phone number on a piece of paper, and it says Bronwyn and her phone number. And so I got like my first phone number of another mom today. And so right
yeah.
before we started the class or like our episode, I got a text going, "Hey, let's grab coffee on Thursday, XX Braun." And I was like, "Yay!" So I've got another like little mom friend. But so that was like a nice way because it's that like we always see each other at drop offs. It's that like, oh, do I want to make an effort? We're both trying to get to where we're going to be, whether that's going to work or going to this. And I think in general, you can always make excuses on why not to say something. That fear of rejection, just like dating, just like in friendships or in whatever, like what if they don't like me the same way I like them? Or what if they don't have any interest? Or what if their heart's not open to more friendships? Because as we know, our time is so limited with kids and with partners and in life. Like we're either working or we're parenting or we're, trying to invest in all these different things. Sometimes it's hard to open up your hearts to other people because you don't want to let them down or be disappointed if they can't hang out with you. But I do think like shooting your shot's important. I mean, you and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that swim class or me being like, hey, do you want to go get a coffee? Or like, do you guys want to go over for dinner really quick? And if you would have said no, no biggie, but I think I wouldn't have put myself out there again. So it's
Yeah.
definitely an intimidating and hard thing to do. And another thing I've really found a lot of joy in is I took some surfing lessons back as a gift from Chase for Valentine's. And one of my friends who doesn't have kids down here does surfing every Wednesday morning with all of her girlfriends. And so she's included me in this like group of like girls and women that are learning to surf. And so
That's
that's such
awesome.
a fun thing because there's all these like very unique, none of them are moms except for me, but I don't go and talk about Cooper the whole time. We just go, we're learning to surf, we're learning to enjoy the water. And it's such a cool like group to be part of because we're all new at something that's hard and challenging. So there's no one that's like showing off to the other one. And it's physical and it's hard. It's good exercise, but it's just like a fun way to like get together. And so I think that was such a nice invitation to be included in something like that because like again, I do think most of the time my identity is part of who I am as a mom. And so you get invited to different moms groups or play groups or all that sort of thing. But it was nice to be included in something that wasn't that. And so I'm definitely trying to do the same thing, including them into things that doesn't necessarily revolve around Cooper or Chase, but also like know that that's an awesome part of my life and my identity as well. So that's two little fun things I had to
Yay.
jump in and add in.
Those are huge wins. Oh my gosh, you're like wanted out there. Yes.
I don't know
You're the
about
hot
that.
topic.
Oh, look, let's not be crazy, but like, I don't know. I think there is something magical about a small town. I think there's definitely some hard things. It's a little bit, I wouldn't call the word clicky, but I think that's the first thing that comes to mind. A lot of
Hmm.
people in this town are born and raised here. They've got their groups, they've got their ways and their routines, and they've got their people. And so, like, I definitely found the walls were up when I, just started to join into groups. And I have had to, I would say, use the word thicker skin because I've learned now that, like, with the town being this small, you do know when everyone hangs out with other people and you're not included. So that does hurt your feelings sometimes because, like, why wasn't I included? But you have to remember these people have history here. They've got depth and they've got years upon years upon years of relationships that you're not part of, and that's okay. And so just remembering that, like, if you're not included in everything, it's not a personal jab at you. And you have to remember that it's okay to not go to everything because you're not going to invite everyone to everything you ever do ever. And so I have grown in that way. I found that like in Phoenix, I had my friends and in Sydney, I was invited to everything, but I didn't necessarily know when I wasn't because the town was so big and, like things happened and you didn't know because you had other things going on. But again, I've learned this year that it's okay to not be included in everything. And if you don't get that, invite, it's going to hurt a little bit. But remember, it's not about you. It's just about them. They just probably either oversaw it or like that dynamic of that friendship group has been along way longer than I've been around. And so it's okay to not be included in everything. And it's not a job because the next day I'll get a call from other people and be like, hey, come to this. And so that's been a big takeaway is like not taking things too personal.
Totally. And I feel like it takes the same amount of effort to like reject someone, right? Like reject an invite. Cause like even if you are technically invited to everything, you're not going to have the energy or time to go to everything, right? So it's just like maybe they're saving you a little energy right there by
100%.
having them not, yeah, having not to reject them or the invite. And I feel like something that's kind of related for me is just like with something that I don't want to put myself out there because I just make up stories in my head that, oh, this woman at the park, or like maybe this new connection of mine already has a friend group, right? They're already established. Maybe they're from here. So they already like have their high school friends, or like they've already got their like core group going on. So why would they entertain being a new friend of mine? Or like they don't have enough time for me, little old me. So I just make up these stories in my head. And I'm sure I'm not alone on that, but like it's a little exhausting and I need to like ground myself and wake myself up from that and be like, you know what, I'm worthy. And like maybe they haven't found a connection like me and vice versa, obviously. And so I think it's still worth pursuing. I just need to like give myself that own little pep talk next time I'm like going out and doing stuff. But yeah, it's good to, like you were mentioning, the surf lessons, or not lessons, but like surf get togethers. And I feel like something consistent, right? Like with the same group, or like maybe some people make it, maybe some people don't each week, whatever it is. I have something similar going on, and life gets busy being a mom, but I think that everyone generally understands, especially if you're in a similar situation, or like play dates. So mine is a group play date with other moms and their kids in the area, and it's every other week. So it's every other Friday, and it's just whoever can make it come, invite other people. It's like a whatever casual thing just at the park, like which is perfect for me down the street
Yeah.
that we had Chloe's birthday party at. So that's been nice, but it's just like even if it's every other week and I can't make one, then it's like, oh shoot, then I can't, get back together with everyone until like a bit. But it's nice to just have something kind of ongoing to look forward to.
Yeah.
I feel like that's really nice. And whether like whoever's listening, maybe you can create something similar yourself and like just invite like a small group to begin with and have it be open invitation and like whatever it is. And it could be either including kids and like moms, or it can just be like a women thing or just like a whatever thing. And I think that it's also like it doesn't always just have to be mom and kids in your friend group or like when you're picturing friends. It can also be like, which is even more challenging, but finding like another couple who
Mm-hmm.
vibes with both you and your partner. That's super challenging. And we got lucky with you and Chase, right? But like, it's
Very.
one thing to vibe with, like, let's say the mom, but it's another when their partner or the dad also vibes with our partners and our husbands, right? So I think that that's extra special. That's extra credit points. But I think that's also something that I always put in the back of my head too, of just like, oh, okay, let's do a little double date action. That could be extra fun because I think that's really nice. Like I like taking advantage of time with Ben and doing our own date nights, but I also find my cup to be filled socially when we have a double date too, because then we're still able to connect and be us as a
Together.
couple without Chloe, right? But it's still nice to go out with couple friends. It's a little different. It spices it up a little bit.
Absolutely. And that's something that so we've got so we are the first of our core six friends that when we were in Sydney, we had like two couple friends that we hang out with all the time. And we're the first of them to have a kid. And so like know that as an individual, I need to continue to make the effort to hang out with them without Cooper and without Chase around or as like a group of six. And so like they were coming down for Oyster Festival, which is like this big festival we have coming up. It's a really fun weekend. But like I have already like arranged for Cooper to be a babysitter for a whole day. So like that way we can all hang out as a group of six. And so we can like still have fun with them, still be fun and independent and like go get dinner where we want to get dinner, all these things, but also like know that Cooper is part of our lives. And they've done such an incredible job of including Cooper and everything and understanding that like he's part of us and they're in their baby making process as well. So like it'll happen for them eventually. But I think it's important to like recognize your friends that don't have kids and make an effort to like do things that they want to do as well, not just make it about your kid. And I try to be conscious of that, but sometimes it's a good reminder that you're the one that needs to make the effort. Like if you're waiting on an invite, maybe you should be the one to make the invite. If you want to do a girls' weekend with some friends, shoot it out there. Say, I want to do a girls' weekend. I'll make the plans. You'll never know who's actually going, oh, thank God you made it. I just didn't want to ask, or I didn't want to put any pressure on you, or I know you're busy with your child. So I never want to put you out by asking, but I'd love to spend some quality time with you and dust off those shoes, get out there, go and hang out. And that doesn't have to be like a big dancing weekend or drinking or whatever, but like sometimes it's important just to go and spend time as an individual with your friends who don't have kids and talk about things that are outside of your kid. And of course, you're going to bring up conversations about potty training or, like Cooper this, and you'll get those FaceTime calls. But it's kind of nice to like remember who you are and have a good time with your friends and who knows how many people you'll meet out with other people that are single or out, out and about doing those things. So just don't forget, if
Exactly.
you're waiting on an invite, be the invite. Go and do that. Do the things. And if you get rejected, just shake it off. Go back, hang out with one of your friends or pick up the phone and call someone who you know is always there for you. Because it does hurt when you get rejected or when someone can't do something that you want. And, you're putting effort into making plans. But just remember that like most of the time it's not about you. It's they've got their own stuff going on in their worlds, or they might not be expecting you to call and be like, hey, want to do a girls' weekend this weekend? They might be like, whoa, I wouldn't have thought that. I have stuff planned, but let's just do a bookend and plan it in a couple weeks. So I think that's also really important to wrap up on.
Yes, 100%. And like, I love my husband, right? I love Ben. We get along great. I love him having my life. But it's like, we need our girls, like, and
Mm-hmm.
like whether it's just being like another friend who's a woman and like maybe they're a mom, maybe they're not, but it's also just like if you can have a therapy session with a friend, like that's what it's all about, just being like finding someone that you can be real with, your real version of yourself, do things that you wouldn't typically do, maybe alone or like with your husband or partner. I think that's the kind of key things is like if you come out of hanging out with someone and you feel refreshed and like lighter and just like happier, then you're finding good friends, right? And that's what we're all looking for. We're all like in the same boat. And like maybe anyone else who's thinking this is feeling a little bit self-conscious too, of like maybe other people think that they have a lot of friends, but they're like, oh, I still haven't found like my bestie.
Yep.
Yes. Yes. So like put yourself out there, go dating, date around, find that bestie of yours. And like, and maybe you don't find your actual bestie in the whole world, but like maybe you'll find someone who's close and still fills your cup because we all need those different friends that complement different parts of our lives. Because like we addressed earlier, it's forever growing and changing and evolving, like as we're going through this journey of motherhood, and it's a wild ride. So we just need that support group and that tribe to get us through it.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. I do. I mean, preach, girl.
So maybe we'll wrap it up on that note. I think that we covered like all the bases because, like I said, there's so many factors that go into it. And like Peyton and I are hoping that we're your besties, like in your ears every week. And yeah, so if you guys have any ideas of topics maybe you're hoping that we can address in the future, please let us know. We have our Instagram, we have an email, so just find us. Our email is mommeetsworldpod@gmail.com. So we'll shout out there if you're not on Instagram. That's how you can get a hold of us. Or if you happen to have our numbers and you are friends with us, go ahead and shoot us a text or call us, whatever. We are open books and we're always looking to see what we can chat about next.
Awesome. Love talking with you. Thank you guys for being on the ride of Mom Meets World, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us on this week's episode of Mom Meets World. If you enjoyed listening, please give us a like, subscribe, and find us on Instagram at Mom Meets World Pod.
Because sometimes you just need another mom to remind you that you're getting it right more than you're getting it wrong. See you next time.